Here is my awesome friend Jackie. I really love her, and she is the star of creative thinking. And I'm joining in with the 52-week money challenge. It's the first time I've done this challenge. Now, I've been joining in with her monthly challenge for a good year, and I'm going to continue doing that. But she's explaining how the 52-week money challenge works. And we all do our little savings a little different. Right now, I'm saving $100 a week. When May, I'll probably drop down to $25 a week because I'm working an extra day to save for dental work. So this savings account that I'm building is for my dental work only. So I got one tooth fixed last year, and I'm trying to get another one done this year. And I'm doing it with creative thinking. She's an awesome channel. Go check her out and see what she does. She is such a wonderful creator. I love her, and I've been watching her a couple of years. Go check her out. It's a great channel. I know you're going to love her if you want to try to save some money. And happy savings. This is the second week in this challenge. Last week I put $100 in, and this week I put $100 in. And now I have $200 in my 52-week challenge. Remember, a little money here and a little money there. Even if I wasn't working an extra day, I have made a commitment to put this money in somehow, some kind of money. Once I stop working the extra day, of course, I cannot do an extra $100 a week. That's $400 an extra, and we don't make that much money. But I made a commitment to 25, and we'll see what I can do. We'll see how this year goes. And I'm going to get one tooth fixed each year, and that is my commitment to myself. Well, we all have to make commitments. Even if we don't make a lot of money, you really can buy things and do things and live well. We have never made a lot of money, and we live fine. We don't live in a fancy home, we don't live in a fancy neighborhood, but we don't live in a slum either. So, you can do it, but you do have to plan and think ahead. Well, we have 10 ones here. Let's see how we can build these ones up and make 100 for this week's deposit for the dental work. This is my second week on the 52-week challenge, and I'm working an extra day at work every week. When I do, I take 100 out of my paycheck right off the top, paying myself first before I pay anything else. And now we have put another 10 ones out here, and now we have $20. Now I have put out here 3 20s and 2 10s, bringing it to $100. It's important that we pay ourselves something every week if we can, because we're worth it. Sure, we have bills we have to pay every week that are important, but don't ever forget about yourself. It's important that I get my dental work done, and I'm putting a commitment to $100 a week as long as I'm working an extra day. And once I stop working that extra day, I'm going to try to do $25 a week, and that'll bring it down to $100. But Grandma's getting old, and it's hard to always work an extra day. And when I stop, it's been way over a year. And I found it so difficult to try to save enough money to get much dental work done at any one time because it's so expensive. So I've decided to go down to one tooth a year. Last year I got one tooth fixed. I have the money for 2022 already in the bank to do my second tooth. And this money I'm saving this year will go for 2023 to get another tooth fixed. And I figure if I can get one tooth fixed every year, I should be happy with that. We have to be happy with what we can afford to do without going in debt. And I'm not going in debt for dental work for 2 good reasons. One, me and my husband fought our way out of debt probably about 12, 14 years ago. We paid off everything we owned and we never went back. You can do it. I'm not saying it was easy. It took me quite a while, not as long as you would think. It took us about 3 or 4 years to get totally out of debt. That meant not going out to dinner, not doing anything extra, not having any fun, but we managed to get ourselves out and we paid it all off. We cut all the credit cards up, we pay cash for everything, or we don't buy it. We have bought the last, I don't know, like 4 or 5 vehicles cash. That's a lot of money, and it sounds like impossible to do, but it is possible because we've done it. We keep our cars a very long time. These last 2 cars we bought, hopefully they will last us for the rest of our lives. Now that may sound weird to some people. They were both bought brand new. We have had them quite some time, and they still, I think our truck has about 70,000 miles and our car has 50,000. And we're already in our 70s, and my husband no longer drives. So I really think it's possible these will be our last 2 cars. Because honestly, once I stop working, who knows if I'll even keep, I may keep one vehicle, I may get rid of them both. We'll see. That is one thing, when you get to the point where you have to really cut down, you have to figure out what's really important to you. We could probably get Uber to drive us to doctor's appointments. Not that it's going to be cheap, but keeping a car going isn't cheap either. I spend about $400 a month on gas just for the truck. And we have car insurance, and we have car repairs. And when you start adding all that up over a year's time, spending 20 or 30 bucks for Uber to take you to the doctor doesn't seem like it's that expensive anymore. I live in walking distance to a grocery store and to my bank. So even if I can't walk anymore or ride a bicycle there, I could easily get an Uber. And how much is it going to cost to go a block or two? I live about 2, maybe 3 blocks to the grocery store and maybe 4 blocks to the bank. So we're not talking a long walk. I also have all my family living close by. So I am thinking about my future and what's going to come our way, some way down the road. But until we get there, I'm not going to worry about it. And if worse comes to worse, we can always sell our house and move into an apartment. But even that I'm not worrying about, because my mother lived in her house until the day she died. My father stayed in his place until the day he died. So these may not even be things I need to worry about. My dad worked up until a month before he passed away. And we may be as lucky as that ourselves. You just don't know what the end is going to be like. My house is big enough that if my husband died tomorrow, I could have a grandchild or 2 move in here. It's cheaper to pay the utilities than to be paying rent. And they got to pay utilities no matter where they live. So I don't know yet what I'm going to do. I might even buy a little trailer or something, or pay the money and buy a guest house and put on one of my kids' properties. You never know. You don't know where you're going to go, you don't know what you're going to do, and you may not even have to worry about it. These are just options you think about what you might want to do. But the most important option you have options. And we do have options, even if we never need to use them. Well, this is this week's $100 for the dental work. And I still have other money, just in case we have an emergency. So I don't want people to think we don't have an emergency fund if I got to buy a new tire, or say a bad thing happens here, I got to go out and buy a new refrigerator. I have money already set aside for that too, because I believe that you should try to have some money saved extra. And when you do that, you'd be surprised how much better you feel knowing that you have a little extra money just in case the refrigerator goes out. And we do have that too. So when you see these savings amounts, keep in mind, I have other money set aside for a car repair and for a refrigerator that goes out or a washer and dryer. I can buy most things secondhand if I need to, but I need a brand new refrigerator that works and dependable. And if my washer and dryer goes out, I don't even count that as a bill. Even if I had to charge that, I don't count that as a bill. Why? Because it's cheaper than going to the laundromat. A laundromat is terrible. So there's plenty of things that are important that I would go in debt for, like a washer and dryer. Well, I hope you enjoyed this week's update on my dental fund and different ways to save money. We'll do that every week when we do one of these, and I'll explain to you how I get money ahead. And it'll sound weird to some of you what I do. And I've had plenty of my own relatives tell me that I'm being stupid for the way I do it. And what I tell them is I don't have a lot of money. So if you don't have a lot of money coming in, you got to figure out creative ideas to make and get extra money. And some of them sound silly, but because that's hard for me to save, I know it's hard to believe I'm saying that because it looks like I'm saving great, but it is hard. And I do lots of little extra things to get money ahead. And I'll keep showing and sharing those tips with you along with this. See you next week for another tip on how we build up our savings account.